Alrighty, so here we are. This is, as promised, the footage of the new Fly 6. Obviously down in the bottom left corner is the Fly 6 footage, and the other one heading on the front part is with my Garmin Verb Elite. Can honestly say, I reckon it's a pretty awesome camera. I reckon the video quality of it is good. If I dare say even, I'll say it's even slightly better, or at least on par with the Garmin. It was awesome. I had it running all up for probably about a bit over 4 hours, probably 4.5 hours all up I had it running for. I decided when I set it up this morning when I left, I would put all the lights on, so I had all the lights flashing away as much as I could, and I had the camera running the whole time. Even when we stopped for a coffee, I think the coffee break was about 35-40 minutes, I left it running there as well, because I just figured I'll see how long the battery will last. Now apparently it bleeps when the battery is getting low, and I think it says you've got half an hour or something before it runs out, but didn't get any of that, so it was all good. File sizes, I think all up from memory it was 24 files I had. I've deleted some of them, but I think all of it was 24 files that I had throughout that ride, and it was all up about 15 or 16 gigabytes. So the standard SD card, I've obviously put it onto the swap screens around now. The standard SD card that it comes with, the 8 gigabyte, wouldn't have done it. That's why I upgraded to the 32 gig, which is much better, so I'm happy I did that. And each file, because it loops, obviously it loops, doesn't just continuous record, it loops. Each loop is around somewhere between 8 and 10 minutes. How it decides what the duration is, I don't know, but it's between 8 and 10 minutes each file. The only downside to it, I would say at the minute, is when you get back and you want to convert, you've got to convert the AVI file that it creates into an MP4, or at least you do to run it on the software I'm using. It's not too much of a drama. I've got a fast computer and a fast and a pretty good video card, so my video rendering is fairly quick. So for me to do one of the 10-minute files, it takes my computer around about 45 seconds or a minute, so it's not a major drama, but at the end of the day you've got to convert it all the same. You do end up with a lot of files, so you've got to sort of convert and delete as you go, if you know what I mean. You just end up with a mess of files all over your hard drive. But that's alright, once you get used to that, that's no dramas at all. As I say, I left the lights flashing the whole way. It was all good, didn't turn it off at all until I got home. And it's good, the sound quality is good on it. I've had a listen to the sound quality on it. It's good, it's good enough, no dramas. Let's not forget, it is designed as a safety cam. So it's more for, that's why it loops, it's more for if you have a bump, you know. But the one thing I do like about it is the fact that on this particular camera I can record the whole ride, and then pick apart which parts I want of the ride, so that's fantastic. Whereas on the Verb I can do that because I've got the bigger memory stick. I've got a 64 gig memory stick in the Verb, but the battery won't last. So the battery only lasts, if I leave the Verb on full time, the battery only lasts for an hour and a half. So you can't do a 100k ride if you wanted to record the whole thing. So that's the one downside to the Verb, but it's one thing I really like about this camera is the quality is good enough for what I do with it, and you can record the whole film and then the whole ride, and then just delete all the stuff you don't want. Now I have heard as well, the guys in the shop were telling me when I bought this, people that make this thing are bringing out one for the front in the next week or two, in the next couple of weeks, whatever it will be out, and you can actually get the front one, and it's got a light on as well. Now I'll tell you, the back light on this is bright. It was bright the whole way, no dramas at all. It was bright as the whole way. It's a good flash on it, so it was good. But the front one, if they bring that out, now that would be great, because when I go in for my big ride next year, my 160k race I'm doing, if I add that one on the front, that means I could just set and forget. So once you turn them on, you forget about it. Whereas with the Verb, if you come to an exciting part of your ride, or a good hill climb or something, you've got to keep remembering to turn it on, and then when you finish that section, you've got to turn it off. That's the only downside to it. Whereas with this Fly 6, just turn it on and bang, off you go, and leave it run. I guess if you had the front one, you could do exactly the same, and then, like I say, pick it apart. The only problem with that is, with the Fly 6 and the new one they're bringing out, this front one, they're not wired up to the satellite, so there's no communication with satellite, so they don't have any GPS fixes. They don't know where you are in relation to the ride, whereas the Garmin does, because mine's got GPS on it. Now, obviously that was a problem when I was doing this, editing the film, to get the rear in sequence with the Garmin Verb. I had to just find a part of this particular path I'm on now, a marker on the road, and marry it up the best I could on the Fly 6. I just edit the Fly 6 to suit the Garmin Verb. But that's the only downside to it. Apart from that, I'm happy with it. I'll run it on every ride from now on. I reckon it's great. And where it will be really good is when we're doing some of our real fast rides and we're all in a good pace line, taking it in turns like that. That'd be great, because you get the front and the rear footage. So that'd be awesome. So I'm happy with it. At the minute, I would definitely recommend it. I think it's pretty damn good. And I've got some of the footage of us going up some hills and things, and I'll put those up later in the week. But at this stage, I can't say anything wrong with it. It's great. I like it, so I would definitely recommend it. Anyway, that's it. Catch us on the next one.